Presiding Officer, I would like to congratulate the committee and the clerks of their substantial report, and as many others have already iterated, I'm glad to see enormous support for it across the chamber. Since the Scottish Parliament was created in 1999, devolution has evolved significantly. Alexander Stewart spoke of devolution being an important part of Scotland's political history, and he is right. It is now one of the most devolved institutions in the world. Since its formation, the Parliament was legally required to implement EU law in the devolved areas. Brexit changed this, and as Angus Robertson began by outlining the unprecedented impact that this has had on devolved institutions in the UK. Leaving the EU had considerable consequences for the Scottish Parliament's ability to carry out rightful scrutiny in devolved areas. Now, more than ever, we need competent governments across the UK who cooperate and communicate to overcome this change. As many of my colleagues in the Chamber addressed, a key recommendation of this report is the need for improved intergovernmental cooperation. The committee's report outlined that after the EU exit, there has been significant disagreement between the devolved institution and the UK government regarding how the regulatory environment should be managed within the UK. Since the UK's departure from the EU, there has been a clear deterioration in relation between the UK government and the devolved institutions. Claire Adamson spoke of the structural and systematic challenges that have arisen with the devolution as a result of Brexit. This is true, but years of political disagreement and point scoring has also led to a stale relationship between the Scottish SNP government and the UK Conservative governments. This political quarrel dates back to well before Brexit. And as Alex Rowley spoke of how we now have two parties determined to use the Constitution to pursue their own political ambition and foster division. Scottish Labour believe the people of Scotland and the rest of the UK deserve cooperation and trust between our governments, not conflict. Currently, relations between the UK government and the devolved counterparts can be summed up, as my colleague Neil Beebe outlined, as culture of conflict. A new approach and revamped relationship between the UK government and devolved institutions is required. The upcoming general election is the clear chance to do this, and Scottish Labour are ready to take charge. Deputy Presiding Officer, transparency is paramount to strengthening intergovernmental relations moving forward. The committee report outlines that we need to see better, more open communication between the UK and devolved governments in areas where reserved and devolved powers interest. Trust and transparency are key to the success of devolution. Alex Cole-Hamilton already highlighted the deficiency of the relationship between the UK and the Scottish governments since Brexit. What we currently have, two governments in the UK who continually refuses to cooperate and communicate with one another. And devolution suffers as a result. Labour are the party of devolution, and we wish to see I have a lot to go, sorry. Labour are the party of devolution, and we wish to see that strengthened and not undermined. The UK's departure from the EU directly impacted on many areas of devolved competence. We wish to see UK and Scottish government that work together through this. This can be done in a way that upholds and seeks to strengthen devolution. Sadly, this is not currently being demonstrated by either of the administration in charge. Instead, years of political disagreement have led to a culture of secrecy and distrust. Finally, Presiding Officer, we cannot seek to mend this relationship if the UK government continues to act in areas of devolved competence. It remains unacceptable for the UK government to legislate in devolved areas of competence without consent. Prior to Brexit, the Seoul Convention has been widely upheld and applied by successive UK governments. Alistair Allen outlined how, since Brexit, the process has been breached repeatedly, and the UK government seems to consider the Seoul Convention to be a thing of the past. Sorry, I've got a lot to go, and I'm looking at the time as well. Passage to Act such as Internal Market Act highlight the lack of respect that the UK Conservative government now have for devolution. I share the concern expressed by committee witness that the Seoul Convention needs to be legally strengthened. As Neil Bibi highlighted, the UK Labour Party's Commission on the Future of the UK emphasised the need for a new legally binding statutory formulation of the Seoul Convention. This is needed to be protected and respect devolution and authority of devolved institutions across the UK.